All right, welcome back to my channel. I hope the audio is a lot better. A lot of you have complained that my audio was crap in the past, so I bought a microphone finally. So let's move on from that. Today's project, we got a GTR up on the lift here. Let me go ahead and show you what's going on. So here's the GTR that is up on the lift currently, that the transmission is completely shot. It is grinding so bad that I don't even want to begin to tell you what it feels like. But what we're going to go ahead and do is get this whole subframe completely removed from this car. The transmission is going to get a stage 4 transmission. I'll have to add the link to what all details we're doing there, as well as a T1 bracket and a few other goodies. So the exhaust is off the car now. We have a lot of the inspection plates off. I removed a few plugs here. I got a few more to remove off the back of the tranny here. And then I got to continue. So basically this setup's really simple. I already began by taking, like I said, the exhaust off. I have the rotor removed, the caliper removed, the wheels, the tires. You can see all that's gone. The exhaust, the center tailpipe. The next thing is I got to take the shocks off up here from this whole assembly. That's it, not the whole shock, just right here on both sides. I have to drain the fluid, see how horrible that is. Disconnect the shift cable, take the wires off. Once that's all done, I can disconnect both drive shafts, this one and this one. Once those are disconnected, I'll remove the transmission oil cooler. I will actually unbolt it and dangle it down once I get this cross member out. This cross member is not actually holding the transmission, so it can come out. We can move the cooler aside, and then we will set a table underneath, which I have a rack that I'm setting it on, and I will literally lower the car down, unbolt it on top of the table, lift the car back up, and everything will be removed, giving us clear access. So yes, that is the next project. Let's get started. All right. As I said, I need to begin draining this here in just a moment. I need to make sure that we get this oil out of this transmission. I'm curious to see how nasty that thing is going to be. Probably a 13 milliliter. Yep. Let's go grab that. Oh, interesting. It's not a 13. Oop, there's my head. Don't need it anyway. Here. I need a light, I can't see anything. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and take out this cross member. That way I don't get the light on anything. It's in my way. Doesn't hold the tranny, so nothing too. Okay, now with 6 14s out of the way, let's grab a 15, I believe it is. It looks like a 17 actually. And you'll see 4 total in this section. And then you'll also see, I believe, 1 here and 1 there. So there's 6 of these as well. All right, hopefully I don't get knocked out when I bend over. Okay, good. All right, so that's that cross member. All right, let me move the camera, show you what's next. Okay, before I get started on the cooler here, by the way, if I'm ever breathing heavy, I lift between jobs to try to just get my workout in. I'm too busy to do it otherwise. So I try to do it when I get a chance between jobs. All right, so here we have an Allen wrench. Went ahead and grabbed it. It looks like it's 5mm. So we're gonna drain this while we work on the cooler. Can't wait to see how nasty this is gonna be. Will be this cooler. Looks like I got some 12mm bolts, so let's grab that. I'll just slowly work it off, since I know there's O-rings, so the O-rings are probably pretty tight inside here. Yep, that's what I thought. So that's gonna drain what's in there. Okay. Very good. So let that drain for a bit. Drive shafts next. So here we got the drive shafts. You got the lower and the upper. When you get these unbolted, you're not going to be able to just drop them out of the way, most likely. So that's when we start persuading the transmission and whole subframe down, and then slowly pop them out. So I'm going to set you back down, and I'm going to loosen up these bolts. Oh, by the way, good rule of thumb, put a mark in the position of the drive shafts. Just do a mark so you can remember where they went. Doesn't necessarily have to be that way, it's just a good rule of thumb. All right, so there's a lot of ways you can mark this. There's actually shop markers, different pens, different things you could do. Or if you're like me and you have a daughter, borrow her nail polish. That's, yeah, that's what I do. Borrow, steal, whatever. It's white and it works. Oh, there you go. And then when she asked me to help her paint her nails or something, or mine, I guess, I don't think that'll ever happen, but if she asks, I can help her. I sure hope she doesn't ask. All right, so it looks like we got some Allens here. Yep, so I figured 6mm, cool. And then I think there's a 12 in the back. So I'll grab a wrench and we'll loosen that one up. Like I said, I did not expect this drive shaft to move out of my way. Maybe this one. Yeah, that one will, because of this yoke, but the other one I highly doubt. So one thing that I like to do is don't lose your stuff. If you have the drive shaft just dangling in here while you get the tranny fixed, just throw the bolts back in place. It's a good way to make sure that you don't lose them, you don't misplace them. Okay, guess who's back? Back again. Yeah, it's me. Anyway, I forgot to actually mention, when I took off the cross member, I didn't put the bolts back in their same spots. My own fault. Practice what you preach is what they say, so put them all back in their spot, make sure we don't lose them. Get this drive shaft removed. Again, 6mm bolts, 6mm Allen. All right, so welcome back. Where are we at with this? So what we have now is the cooler is out, the plugs are disconnected that are at the back of the transmission. See them right here. So you pull them out of the way. There's actually a plug here that has 2 plugs on the transmission. You do not have to remove those. Now that I see that there's another plug right above here that you can't see, but there, it's hard to see. There you go, just disconnect that, pull these out of the way. The drive shafts are done. The cooler is out to be replaced. And everything is pretty much ready to go, other than we need to drop, where is it? You can see right up there. It's hard to see, but you can actually see the emergency brake lines that need to be dropped down. So just unbolt those so that you can get them down enough to actually remove the bracket when we're dropping everything down. So that has to be removed. And then once that's removed, I'll go ahead and jack up the car and we will focus on taking the shocks out. So let's get started. All right, these emergency brake lines, I believe, 12 millimeter. Let me grab the 12 millimeter and get that going. It's up there quite a way, so. Go ahead and drop these down off the bracket. So now that the brake lines are disconnected back here, I want to drop the car down, but I actually have these jacks here, these lift jacks for the front of the car. I get very stressed out when I remove an entire rear subframe and I don't have a jack on the front of the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down, going to keep these jacks close by and have everything ready to be stable when I'm lower for the shocks. So let's go ahead and remove the shock mounts. All right, welcome back. I am covered in grease, but she's out. Took me about an hour and 30 minutes, but we got the whole subframe out of the car. Basically, I didn't show everything, but I can show a little bit now. Let me turn this around. So this is the shock that I removed here, and I tied up the caliper so I didn't have to drain the fluid. This is one of the mounts, another one, and another one. Those are 19 millimeters, I believe. I can confirm that. Yes, they're 19s. So you loosen those 19 millimeters, you remove this harness, which this is that plug I was telling you that can stay on the transmission. You unplug this and remove this harness. You unplug this, and you also unplug this breather right here. There's a hose that goes right here. And then up front, let me show you how the e-brake lines come off. This is how they bolt to the body. You see these little eyelids. And then as you see, I was a little stressed about this. These just slide right out. It's not a big deal. You just reach up and slide them out of the little pockets that they have there. You see, you just turn them. Let me see if I can get a good view of it. See the notch, just turn them and go out the notch. And here is the shift cable. There's a C-clip, just like a normal transmission. You just take the C-clip out and pull that out. And then up top here, there's two 10 millimeter bolts and a bracket. The bracket is hanging right here, see? Whoop. So you just take these little 10 millimeters out, lift it up, you're good to go. And yeah, so I'm looking at this and I don't think there's much more to it. Like I said, tie up your calipers like I did so you don't have to drain the system, unbolt the shocks, and tie everything up real nice. And then you have full access right here, and you can pretty much just go to town on it. So I plan to take the transmission off of this whole assembly so I can send it off, and it's going to get a surprise level 4 transmission. That is just one step below straight cut gears. The reason we want to do that is we don't really want to get noisy straight cut gears for driving on the street, but we do want to get a lot of power output out of this motor, and the transmission has to be able to hold it. So we're going to send it off to a specialist and have them go ahead and build this transmission. And in about 2 weeks, we will begin a new video on the GTR and installing the new transmission, and then we'll take it for a rip and see how we feel. So stay tuned to my channel and let me know if you liked it or not. And thank you for watching.